This is my review of the movie First Match, which is available on Netflix. First Match is the story of an African-American teenage girl who becomes a wrestler and must overcome the dysfunctional environment that surrounds her in order to become successful in wrestling, in school, and in life. This movie is of special interest to me since I directed a documentary about the history of women's wrestling called Lady Wrestler: The Amazing Untold Story of African American Women in the Ring. Lady Wrestler will soon be available on streaming services. So stay tuned to my YouTube channel and follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for details. I'll put the links to my social media in the description of this video. Now, before I go into my review of First Match, one of the things I have to point out about the movie First Match is that the title reminds me of a restaurant called First Watch that serves brunch all day. So I'm going to have to be careful throughout this review not to keep calling the movie First Watch and thinking of waffles and turkey bacon. Anywho, First Match was released in 2018 and was written and directed by Olivia Newman based on her 2010 short film of the same name. The film stars Elvira Emanuel, I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly, as the main character Monique. Emanuel, the lead actress, is excellent. I can't say enough good things about her performance. She gives Monique just the right balance of street smarts and sensitivity, rough edges, and vulnerability. The movie opens with Monique being kicked out by yet another foster parent. Monique gives a lot of attitude to her foster mother and other adults, but you can also tell she's a good kid who's simply misunderstood. It's refreshing to see a portrayal of a foster child who's not pathological. So often in movies, people who grew up in foster care are depicted as mentally unstable or downright deranged. But Monique is a three-dimensional character. She's defiant and talks back to adults, but she's really intelligent, and the movie gives you the sense that she's a good person at heart who's trying to do the right thing in spite of a lot of bad breaks in life. Monique is placed in another foster home, and there's friction right away with her new foster mother, a Latina named Lucila, who is played by Kim Ramirez. Lucila is another complex character, and it's hard to tell at first if she's on Monique's side or not. Lucila accuses Monique of stealing her earrings, and the movie keeps you guessing as to why the jewelry mysteriously turns up missing. You'll have to tune in to see how that mystery is solved. At school, Monique has trouble fitting in, which is understandable for a foster child who has been shuffled from home to home. She's portrayed as tough from the very beginning. For example, when she and her best friend Omari, who happens to be a guy, are walking down the street one day, they come across some rough-looking guys with pit bulls. Omari jumps and reacts with fear at the sight of the pit bulls and their equally menacing handlers. But Monique keeps a steady pace and stares down the guys standing on the street, as if she's not afraid of anyone. By the way, the character Omari is played by Jharrel Jerome, who won an Emmy for his role in Ava DuVernay's miniseries When They See Us, which was based on the infamous Central Park 5 case. Audiences will also recognize Jerome from the Oscar-winning movie Moonlight. Omari is on the wrestling team at school, and Monique eventually decides to join the team as well, even though, except for her, it's all boys. Wrestling is a perfect outlet for Monique since she shows a tendency to fight in school, even pulling a girl's hair, which of course is a staple of professional women's wrestling. Monique is not a newcomer to wrestling. She's been demonstrating moves for her friend Omari for years. And as it turns out, Monique's estranged father, Daryl, is a former wrestler himself who trained his daughter when she was younger. Daryl resurfaces in Monique's life from time to time and continues to give her pointers here and there, such as telling her to take off her long, elaborate press-on nails before she hits the mat. But Monique's father, played by Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, and again I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly, gives off an ominous vibe that makes you suspect he's a bad influence on Monique. When Monique joins the wrestling team at school, she partners up with various boys at practice and holds her own with them, displaying a lot of potential. The coach, played by Coleman Domingo, is tough but fair with Monique and gives her tips on how to excel, not just on the mat, but in real life as well. Monique demonstrates a tenacity that is admirable. At her first official match, a boy on the opposing team refuses to wrestle her until the ref literally makes him man up. Monique doesn't let this boy's sexism or much else that comes her way faze her. Monique roughhouses with her teammates and is eventually accepted as one of the guys, but she starts to develop a crush on a boy named Malik, played by Jared Kemp. Of course, nothing in Monique's life is easy, and her love affair with Malik is also fraught with challenges. A lot of twists and turns happen in Monique's life, and I won't give them all away in this review. I'll just say that a major plotline involves Monique's father enticing her to forget about school and focus on making money on the underground wrestling circuit. You'll have to watch the movie to find out Monique's fate. First Match reminds me of the type of movie that would have been released in theaters in the 90s or early 2000s as part of the trend of gritty inner-city dramas. Had it been released 20 years ago, it probably would have been marketed as a female alternative to movies like Boys in the Hood that focused on the challenges facing young black men in society. It's truly rare to have a story, especially one with a sports theme, centered on a young black woman. First Match deserves to take its place in cinema history alongside the 2000 classic Love and Basketball, which was written and directed by Gina Prince Bythewood and starred Sanaa Lathan as a rising young basketball phenom and Omar Epps as her childhood friend and love interest. First Match is a movie that shows that people and situations are complicated, and there aren't always simple solutions. It also shows that people are not all good or all bad. We need more stories like this that are nuanced and thought-provoking. First Match received raves from critics, and rightfully so, with an 85% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes. I highly recommend checking out First Match. And if you like this video, please like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.